right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. This is episode 671 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour or so, me, you, Marcus Kyler, the E-Crew, Jeff S., The Pain, Brent B., Nail Girl, LFG, Chuck Sapp, Larry Shervington, Tom Bishop from the Boots, Senfulous, James Udakudo, all these blue badges, not only IT, Chris Young, Space Tacos, GL, woo! We're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories, including Kimberly Can Fix It. Good morning from the Lanai. Basically, how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction, whether it is nation-state threat actor behavior and the best practices in ransomware behavior, or it is, maybe not always about driving cyber risk reduction. Maybe we're talking about Black Hat and upcoming activities, or the Google Whiz merger and how that collapsed, which I saw is one of the stories today. So whatever it is, it's germane to our jobs, it's germane to our industry, and we're going to be exploring all of it as a community today on the show. Also, if you're a aspiring cybersecurity professional, you're cyber curious, there is going to be value for you here in the show. Not only is the show full of amazing information security professionals like Paula Terranova, Sydenham, Augusta Delgado, Rosamond, right? Laura Flores, Becky Gaylord, Alana Boyajian, GRC Mafia in the house. Listen, the networking is phenomenal, my aspiring cybersecurity professional friends. And you'll be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current? Right here, Daily Cyber Threat Brief. Just drop that bomb on the table and just walk away. Trust me, it's a great answer to the question. If you pay attention and you engage, if you just let it play in the background and say, oh, I do this Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief, you're not actually doing it, so it doesn't count. You picking up what I'm putting down? All right, let's roll. So just so everyone knows, I do not, I don't research or prep any of these stories. The best I can say is I see the headline of the story, and even that, there's 8 stories, and I think I only remember 2 of them. And one because I texted James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet. So check it out. It's going to be good. Gary Sturgiadis, what's cracking, brother? The reason I don't research the stories is because I want it to be authentic, our interaction and how I'm perceiving these stories, as if me and you were at the water cooler as I grab my Sweetwater podcasting gear mug they sent me. Little do they know my audio is janky. And I want to recreate that. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet dropping.
Did we just become best friends?
Dropping squad memberships. Thank you, James McQuiggan. If you're one of the 10 members who are now squad members, like who we got? Jesus Banda, Tracy TLC. We got a lot of ones. Chris Young's in here. Just Chris. Andres Molina. A lot of new squad members. Welcome to the parties, pal. All right, guys, check it out. Before we get into it, let me say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsor, starting with Barricade Cyber Solutions. Barricade Cyber Solutions is dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But guess what, y'all? Guess what? Barricade Cyber Solutions, they know how to yeet threat actors out the environment. They know how to catch them outside. How about that?
Catch me outside. How about that?
They know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. Eric Taylor, Casually Nosif, they're all there helping you and helping your business. Think of them as digital firefighters. Shout out to Paula Terranova, 21-month squad member. What's up, Paula? Love it. All right. Thank you, Barricade Cyber. Go to barricadecyber.com to check them out. Also want to say shout out and love to Antisyphon training, guys. More about them at them. Actually, you know what? Antisyphon training, they're disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry. They're providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, including Casey Cromer, Valentino, the K Bandwidth, ZMIF, right? All these people, CatGPT.
Shall we?
All of them, regardless of financial position, they offer their students the opportunity to learn skills, practice what is taught, and really engage with a community that is a lot like the Simply Cyber community. If you are looking to get trained up on a variety of different skills, go to antisyphontraining.com. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. I have taken multiple of their training. I love this company and the people that work there and what they're doing. They're very inspiring. All right. Now check it out. Fun fact. I should not have been reading the Delete Me Read sponsors Monday and Tuesday like a donkey. So, oops. So we won't be doing that today. Remember, stick around to the end of the show where we'll be doing 30 minutes of Ask Me Anything, and all your cybersecurity questions will be answered. Each episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief is worth half a CPE, so don't be shy. Say what's up in chat. Grab a hashtag TeamSC if you want. File it away, count the number of screenshots once a year, and divide by 2. You're good to go. If today is your first episode, we're about to go around the world, my friends. Let us know it's your first episode. Yeah, Justin Walker getting a squad member. Let us know it's your first episode by dropping a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. We love welcoming our newcomers. We've got a new, we got a sound effect. We got an emote. We got everything. We got the works up in here. So don't be shy. Hashtag first timer. Nail girl. Cheers to you. Coffee. All right. Now, if you're a new person here and you don't know what's going on, let me share with you what we're about to do. We're about to go around the world. So every single Wednesday, we take a minute and we just run around the world. You tell me where you're at. We play good music, and you will see that we have a diverse, like DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. It's a buzzword. Corporate boards use it. They slap it on the wall. They say, oh, we're diverse here, right? And usually it's a bunch of crap. This right here is going to objectively demonstrate how diverse the Simply Cyber community is. Hashtag TeamSC. I freaking love it. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. Before we get into it, let me tell you that Worldwide Wednesday is presented by IT Pro from ACI Learning, the international online training solution that professionals in audit, cybersecurity, and IT turn to for binge-worthy content. You can use my promo code Auger30. My last name is Auger, if you didn't know. Use my code Auger30 to get 30% off your first month or your first year of training. It's very good. It is very good training. If you're looking to have the full package between text, video, content, career path, training around different certs and stuff like that, it's very good. Daniel Lowry is one of the edutainers. Sophie Goodwin's over there. So check it out. Let me go ahead and pin this comment. Oh my gosh. I'm going to just pin this to the top so you guys can see it. All right, guys. Mods, get ready. Here we go. Let me take one more slug of coffee because this is going to get spicy.
Spicy!
All right, let's go, Team SC. Let's go, Team SC. Setting the clock to 2 minutes. Where are you? Tell me where you're at. Niagara Falls, Canada. The Rich 464 bringing Canada online. Haircut Fish in Pennsylvania bringing the U.S. online. North Carolina, Heather Fortune, I love it. Kingston, Jamaica. Jamaica me crazy, Damien. I love it. I'll get Jamaica in a second. That's kind of a tough one to find on this map. Dirty Jers. What's up, Michael Andruzzi? Wildwoods in the house. San Antonio, Texas. Hey, Poland, Colombia. What's going on, South America? We see you bright and early this morning. Virginia's in the house. Chi-Town. What's up, Augusta, Georgia? And just Wesley in General, Georgia. Afghanistan, Abdullah's in the house. What's up, Afghanistan? Bringing the Middle East on. Hey, Maryland. Hey, Houston. What's up, Massachusetts? Bringing in the noise from the heart of Illinois. I love it. Alabama, Texas, KC, Toasty Pops representing. Hot Atlanta by Scott Hardy. Peru. Come on, bro. Where are you at? South America's bringing the heat. Africa, you better get online. Israel's in the house. Bringing it up. Boom, Israel. Wisconsin. Good morning, LinkedIn. Hey, Raleigh. Got the triangle up in here. Seattle getting up early, Gregory. I love it. Australia. Thank you, Australia. Tanzania. Not going to fall for that twice. Isn't Tanzania over on the left? Oh, God. Mods, I need to know where Tanzania is. Tom Bishop, the boot. Love it. Switzerland. Come on, Switzerland. I know you're in here. I know you're in this, safe space up in here. God damn it. Where are you? Netherlands, Czech, Belgium, Switzerland, I got you. Yay. Spain. Okay, someone saw Nigeria. We'll take it. Nigeria, Africa is online. Guys, we have a pretty strong contingent. If we could get like one more Asia, that'd be great. What's up, Philippines? Asking you shall receive. Triple D in the house. Mexico, North America fully lit up. Florida, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Love it. We got more UK. Ethiopia's in the house. Holy Jesus. All right, let me do this really quickly. Let's tally up the count here. All right, so Tanzania looks like it's dead center, I guess. Middle right of Africa. Tanzania, thank you. All right, nailing it. JMod with the assist. Germany, all right, I saw Germany going back. India, thank you. Mods are helping me out here. Pakistan, very nice. Oh my God. Poland, Canada, Sicily, Nigeria, India, UK. Swims with sharks, first timer.
Welcome to the party.
Okay, welcome to the party, pal. All right, guys. Hey, let's take a quick sniff. I see North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia. And that, my friends, is how we go around the world. Congratulations to everybody. Thank you so very much for being here. I see South Africa. Thank you all so very much for being here today. What a great community. We got a wonderful show for you today. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over us in an awesome wave. Way to go, community. I'll see you at the mid-roll. Let's do it.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. I'm Sean Kelly. Google's $23 billion plan to buy Whiz falls apart. Last week, it appeared Google was poised to snap up the cybersecurity startup for $23 billion in what would have been its largest acquisition ever. On Monday night, however, Whiz informed its employees that the deal was off and that the company would instead pursue a public listing on the stock exchange. Chief Executive Asaf Rappaport said he was flattered by the offers the company received, but plans to pursue its previously stated goal of generating $1 billion in recurring revenue ahead of an initial public offering.
Wait, hold on. That was a misfire. All right. Hold on. So really quickly, if you don't know, now you know. Listen, Whiz is a cloud security, they're basically a vendor that does cloud security, okay? That's the gist of it. So Google was looking to acquire Whiz for $23 billion. I've said this in a couple other venues, but like basically Whiz is like the hot kid on the block right now. Like it's like, ooh, like have you heard about Whiz? Like I know Stacy Loki works over there. Way to go, Whiz. You guys are straight crushing it. Now, remember, Google is Google, right? They're top 5, Alphabet, right? You know, et cetera. They got deep pockets. Google, in my opinion, this isn't okay, swims with sharks. We have something called tinfoil hat. Typically, when I step off the reservation, we'll use tinfoil hats. This is not a tinfoil hat right now. For the longest time, Amazon and Microsoft have dominated the cloud infrastructure space, right? Like, oh, should I get Microsoft certified or AWS certified? Like nobody is talking about Google, but Google is essentially like the third stooge, right? You know how it was like Mo, Larry, and they were always there. And then there was like Curly, Shemp, Joe, like they kept rotating the third one. Like that's Google. All right. Google is Shemp. Sorry, Google. And then don't even come at me with like IBM and Oracle and all the other crap that they got going on over there. It's those three: Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. Okay. So Google has been scratching and clawing, wanting to usurp the pecking order of where people go to use cloud. And this right here, this acquisition, in my opinion, was single-handedly a move in order to continue to drive that decision and that long-term mission. And Whiz is wicked good at security, so Google Cloud would have been wicked good at security effectively, right? Google wasn't buying the technology that Whiz was doing. Google was buying that, but Google, more importantly, was buying the client base of people using Whiz. Remember, if Google buys Whiz today, all of the clients who have Whiz in their infrastructure become Google clients, right? Simple as that. So Google Cloud could go from where they are today to like twice as big overnight with this acquisition. So remember, they're not just buying the technology, they're buying the install base and the customer base and the client base, right? All part of this vision for Google Cloud to become, one of the big players. I mean, it is a big player, but like the big player, right? Also, fun fact, I say this every time Google Cloud comes on, is Whitney Champion over at Lima Charlie told me this. She used to work in Amazon AWS all the time, and now she works in Google Cloud. She said Google Cloud is like legit better, like a lot of like nice quality of life things. Like when you spin something up, Google automatically creates all the support things that you would normally create anyways, and the things in Amazon that you have to manually create. Plus the naming conventions are good. Swims with Sharks recruited to GRC. Let's go. Run GRC right there. Swims with Sharks. Bruce Banner, hashtag Team Live, got my first cyber offer. Let's hope it goes through. Brosif, I'm going to hit the bell.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Yes, sir. Bruce Banner, I hope it goes through too. I mean, all the hard work is getting to the offer letter. All right, so long story short, say what you will about this decision. Whiz, basically what it boils down to is Whiz said, appreciate your $23 billion offer, but we think we can get more money on the open market, right? The New York Stock Exchange. That's all this is. This story at its absolute base is all about straight cash, homie.
Straight cash, homie.
Period, full stop. Okay? This is all about straight cash, homie. Now, what I like to do is there's something called Crunchbase where you can basically look up any company and see what their, where they are in funding and how big the company is and all that other stuff. So Crunchbase is a nice little resource. They've received $2 billion in funding. Okay, that's interesting. They have 18 total investors. Let me see what they are. Sequoia Capital. Ooh, Sequoia Capital is a big one. Howard Schultz, just like one guy, Howard Schultz. I never heard of this guy, but he must be an unbelievably filthy rich, that is. Okay, so anyways, they've received several series of funding. Guys, they did a Series E funding in May of 2024. You don't typically see series fundings go past C unless there's like an issue or something like that. Typically, Whiz has no issues where they're turning down $23 billion in funding. Final thing I had to guess is you got to remember the people who are investing, that like basically Whiz has $1.9 billion has been given to Whiz by people with money, right? Investors. So the CEO, this guy right here on screen, he's not the one who's really making the decision whether or not Whiz gets acquired or not. The $1.9 billion of money is deciding whether or not they're going to go to get acquired or not. If it were me, all right, the word like sheer effing hubris comes to mind. Like, I mean, dude, if you got a vision and it was always to make $100 billion annual recurring revenue, then good on you, my friend. But if your goal, a lot of these tech startups, their goals are to get acquired. So to walk away from $23 billion, I hope it doesn't bite them in the butt. And it just makes me think, like, how much is it? Like, so if you got offered 50 billion, like what, like at what point is it enough money? Maybe, I don't know. I don't run in those circles. Maybe it's a flex to have 3 jets and not 2 jets. I don't know.
And looking for answers amidst CrowdStrike aftermath. In the wake of the defective CrowdStrike update that disrupted airlines, banks, hospitals, and other critical services last Friday, U.S. House leaders are calling on CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz to testify to Congress about the company's role in the widespread outage. Republicans who lead the House Homeland Security Committee said Monday, quote, "While we appreciate CrowdStrike's response and coordination with stakeholders, we cannot ignore the magnitude of this incident, which some have claimed is the largest IT outage in history," end quote. Meanwhile, on Tuesday, the U.S. Transportation Department said it was opening an investigation into Delta Airlines after the carrier canceled more than 5,000 flights since Friday due to the Crowdstrike incident. While other carriers have been able to resume normal operations, Delta canceled 30% or more of its flights through Monday and axed or delayed over 1,000 more flights as of midday on Tuesday. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg said the department will leverage the full extent of its investigative and enforcement power to ensure the rights of Delta's passengers are upheld.
All right. So yesterday I was using Delta as an example. I had no idea that Delta was actually part of this. All right. So Crowdstrike CEO getting called into Congress. The Crowdstrike outage was massive. Okay. It massively impacted tons and tons of businesses, half of Fortune 500 companies. Some of you in chat maybe had impacted travel or loved ones who were impacted by travel. And Crowdstrike CEO is going to get called to testify. Now, this is not going to look like this isn't going to look like the Game of Thrones scene. Hold on one second. I don't know if you guys saw the Secret Service director or former Secret Service director. She resigned. I don't know if you saw her getting basically eviscerated on on TV the other day, but basically this is not what's going to happen to the Crowdstrike CEO, okay? The Crowdstrike CEO, he's already fallen on his sword. They've taken the actions that they want. I think Congress is just wanting to get answers in order to appease the public. I feel like all the information's out there. Maybe he'll get a couple questions like, how could this have been pushed into production without testing and all those other things? I'm sure, unlike the Secret Service director, I'm sure he's gotten to the bottom of what's going on and has adjusted processes. Maybe, I don't know if you had to fire somebody, right? But usually these things get sorted out because guess what? It's all about straight cash, homie. And this dude cannot have another incident like this in the near term, or it'll be like absolutely awful for him. So I don't expect the Congress to light this dude up too much. I don't know why. Again, this isn't a political show, but Congress is going to call Delta in to have them explain themselves on why they're still down. It's like, dude, it's a private business. They're dealing with some issues. And you're going to take this actually, you know what? Listen, I love trying to make something about every story relatable and usable for everybody in the community, some actionable thing. We all know about the CrowdStrike thing. This story is a nothing story for day in, day out work. Let me tell you where the lesson learned is here. And it's not even the CrowdStrike one. It's the Delta CEO, which was mentioned kind of in an aside. In a real incident, right? A real incident. Your infrastructure's on fire. You got Barricade Cyber on site dealing with the threat actors, and management feels helpless and they're upside your head every 15 minutes. Give us an update. Give us an update. Give us an update. Hey, Eric Taylor seems to be the most competent person in the room. Eric, leave what you're doing and come into the boardroom and give us an update on what's going on. Eric, stop what you're doing. We got general counsel or external counsel here now. They just arrived. We've got our biggest investor. We've got the chairman of the board on the phone, whatever. Come into the room and explain what's going on. Hey, Mrs. Chairman, we have our most senior chief forensics officer on the phone. Give an update, Eric. Okay, you know what Eric's not doing? Do you know what the incident responders are not doing at this time? They're not responding to the incident. This happens all the time. This is what pisses me off. Listen, the Congress is calling the Delta CEO in to explain why they're canceling flights, explain why you're down. Other airlines are up. Why are you down? Do you know what the Delta CEO wants to do? Get the friggin' business back up and operational, making that sweet, sweet cheddar. Do you know what the Delta CEO is not doing? Doing that because they're prepping because they have to go before Congress. It's not like you just grab an Uber and head on down to Congress. You got to prepare your notes. They probably sent a data call in advance of things they want to see, internal memos, timelines, whatever. So you got to do all that, send that ahead. You got to get prepped. You got to see who's going to be on the panel that you're going to be talking to, figure out where their alliances are, figure out which one's going to give you a gotcha question. Like, it's annoying. It's annoying. Like, I'm not, dude, capitalism has its downsides and everything like that. But like, what are you doing? Like, what is the ultimate goal here of Congress by calling in the Delta CEO besides wasting Delta CEO's time? Like, with all due respect, like, are you expecting some type of regulatory change coming out of this hearing? It just, again, this isn't a political show, but it's frustrating, dude, right? Like, if your business is all sorts of effed up and you're trying to fix it and you got to stop to go have a conversation somewhere else, it's not good. Sorry.
Percy!
DYDX exchange hacked in DNS hijack attack. On Tuesday, the decentralized finance crypto exchange announced its older V3 trading platform has been compromised. DYDX warned users not to interact with the hacked exchange platform or withdraw assets until it is deemed safe for use. Attackers allegedly hijacked the crypto platform's domain and deployed a copycat website to connect to user wallets. The incident is believed to be linked to a wave of DNS hijacking attacks targeting DeFi crypto platforms using the Squarespace registrar. The company has regained control of the exchange and implemented a fix, but advises users to restart their browser and clear the cache before opening the website.
All right, really quick. Zachary Souza says there's always got to be a scapegoat. Jerry, come on now. Yeah, you're 100% right. Unfortunately, it goes back. I mean, it makes me think of the Colosseum in Roman times. Like, people who are upset want to look at a person and be able to, like, label blame on them and be able to point at them and feel like a completion or a closure to a situation. Like, it's part of the human experience, unfortunately. Okay. Carl just entered the witness protection program. All right. So guess what, guys? It's DNS, right? If there's a problem, check DNS. DNS, as many of us know, but just for everybody's benefit, DNS is domain naming service. Basically, it allows you to translate IP addresses, which are just numbers, into easy to remember things like simplycyber.io or barricadecyber.com or whatever XXX or like whatever. So DNS is unfortunately, because the mapping happens, right? Like simplycyber.io to 172.10.16.35, whatever. And I know that's a non-public routable address. Please just bear with me. If someone changes that translation, then you as a victim go to whatever, chase.com or bankofamerica.com. And in reality, it looks like Bank of America. Your computer resolves it correctly. It presents you with a web page. But because you've been routed to a different IP address that is threat actor controlled, they can put up a fake landing page. They can collect your creds. They can trick you into doing things. They can scam you. They can call you and say, hey, we see you're on our website. Like, there's been some fraud or whatever. Anyways, this right here, it's all about that crypto.
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
Yep. So if you're still hanging on to your crypto, right? Justin Gold, Charles Finfrock. If you're waiting for Shiba coin or Shiba Inu coins or whatever to go to the moon, if you haven't gotten ripped off by a rug pull yet, and you're still hanging on to those sweet, sweet crypto coins that don't have any utility, that's an editorial comment, you may have been screwed by this. Basically, somebody was able to get a hold of DNS records or register something. It sounds like it was getting the ability to access DNS records and make an update. So victims were thinking they were going to a correct exchange website, and in reality, they were going to a fraudulent one where they would then be relieved of their money quite quickly. So this is a lesson learned for both. See, here's the thing. For victims, you can't really tell a victim how to protect themselves because DNS is like how the internet works, and a victim wouldn't know like how to track. Like, I wouldn't know on it. Like, you know what I mean? You don't know the back end infrastructure if they've changed IP addresses or something like that. But as an individual, you should definitely protect your DNS records. You should not allow anyone access that doesn't need access. Access control is huge. And this is one of those instances, especially if you work in fintech. Okay. Something else I want to point out here from a GRC perspective, hashtag run GRC, aka GRC Mafia. This was an old website, version 3 of the trading platform. Why did you not decommission the website? Here is a reality check for everybody, okay? Drop this one in a job interview and see what happens. Spoiler alert, it'll be good, okay? Everybody gets all greased up and like, ugh, when it comes to like launching a new tool or a new platform or a new thing, right? Like christening the new bridge, cutting the ribbon on the new building, breaking the bottle of champagne on the hull of the new ship. Everybody gets all frothed up and double-fisted when it comes to new, right? Nobody is thinking about or giving the due care to the old stuff, sunsetting things, decommissioning things. People just stop using it and they feel good because who gives a crap, right? V3 of the website, why would I use that when V4 is so hot, right? V4 is so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Why would I use V3? Who gives a damn, right? And the way that corporate environments work, again, drop this in an interview or be prepared. If you just started working in corporate America and you didn't know this yet, get ready, right? What happens is they take all their resources, they put them on the project. The project is to launch the new website, V4, whatever. And as soon as you complete that, they take all the resources and they put them on another project, when in reality, the project plan should have had another phase in it to decommission the old stuff. But it's so uncommon to do that because it takes time, it takes money, it takes resources, and nobody is getting hyped up about decommissioning the old site. They just say, oh, like literally, you'll hear this in meetings. Oh, we'll just take care of that later. Or like, oh, just turn it off. Oh, just turn it off. Right? Like, it's so annoying. I am spicy today, okay? Here's the reason you can't just turn off V3 website. There could be hooks in there. People could have written custom applications to interface with APIs that are on the V3 version. You're going to break all that. There could be data in the V3 version that didn't port over to the V4 version, so you need it for archival purposes. Someone's got to do the work, right? And it's not going to be me. I'm doing the V4 stuff. I'm the senior developer. I'm working on the cool new projects. It could be the person who did V3 quit the job, right? Oh, like Casually Nosif was doing that, but he quit. He got all bummed out because of the DEF CON Black Hat thing, so he quit. But he was the one doing it. Don't worry, we'll get to it at some other point, right? Or leaving a test environment public facing. It just annoys me because everybody's like, oh, GRC is so boring. Decommission a website's boring. Sunsetting legacy systems is boring. Yeah, it's boring. But you know what it is? It's risk reduction, because you know what you don't have when you do decommissioning of systems correctly? You don't have front page news about a DeFi exchange V3 website getting hijacked in DNS. Do you know why? Because some GRC professional somewhere did their job and decommissioned this thing and drove it down. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Hackers shut down heat in Ukrainian city. Ukraine's Cybersecurity Situation Center announced that Windows-based malware dubbed Frosty Goop has been linked to a heating outage in Lviv, Ukraine back in January. The Russian-linked malware was used to attack a municipal district energy company and cut off heat to over 600 apartment buildings for 2 full days during sub-zero temperatures. Frosty Goop is designed to target Modbus TCP communications, a standard ICS protocol. An investigation showed that attackers likely gained access to the network 9 months earlier by exploiting a vulnerability in an internet-exposed MikroTik router. From there, attackers were able to gain access to 4 management servers and the district's heating system controllers, which were not properly segmented. And now,
I guess you could say in this instance, Sub-Zero wins. Oh! Okay, I don't mean to marginalize what happened to these Ukrainian citizens who got froze. They said Sub-Zero, immediately Mortal Kombat came to mind, and I thought it was funny. A little toasty. Sheesh. Okay, so what happened here? They used a bunch of terms you may not recognize, like Modbus. This is straight up industrial control system, operational technology. getting hit, right? If you're into ICS OT, this would be a thing, right? It's all about the energy. Like a lot of times the energy sector of business run OT, ICS systems. A Russian-linked malware. Russia's, obviously they have kinetic force on Ukraine. Although, again, this isn't a political show. I've been reading some weird stuff like around Russia's Navy getting pushed back and I don't even like Crimea. I thought Crimea was like locked down Russia, but anyways, they forced district heating company. I won't even attempt to say that, to disconnect heating services. So here's the thing. They didn't actually, hold on. Okay, so here's a couple things. Unfortunately, in January, they basically shut down the ability for the power to be sent and the energy, the heat to be sent to these people. Ukraine famously got hit in like 2014 or 2017 by Russia, knocked their power out on Christmas Day for about 6 hours. Pretty scary stuff. You have to imagine that 600 apartment buildings with no heat and sub-zero temperature got pretty cold, especially for 2 days. I hope no one died, honestly. But 100,000 people were impacted, which is pretty serious. I do want to point out Dragos is essentially like the darling in our industry for incident response for industrial control systems. So basically Mandiant is the big OG one. Like if a Fortune 500 company got hit, Mandiant would be called in. If a Fortune 500 industrial control system got hit, essentially, Dragos is typically the one they call. They've got a lock on that. So not surprised to see Dragos mentioned here as the one who got brought in to do this. That's Rob Lee's company, if you're interested. I think Leslie Carhart works over there as well. There's a bunch of great practitioners who work over there. You could see it was called Frosty Goop. I will say, if you're going to interview for a job at an energy company, this would be a really good story to get a little bit more familiar with and be able to just drop on the interviewers. Industrial control systems, operational technology are very specific. They're niche. So whatever you know about IT doesn't really translate into industrial control systems. Our good friend, JMod, aka Justin Gould in chat, has worked with some industrial control systems. He certainly can speak over that. James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet in a former life, used to be up in the OT ICS space. He can comment on that as well. And you could see that it says the network was breached almost a year earlier. That's interesting that they had telemetry on that. Honestly, that's like really old logs. Oh, see, here's the thing. This is annoying, okay? An investigation showed that the attackers may have entered almost a year earlier. May have entered because of a known vulnerability in a MikroTik router, okay? When you see the word may have, and then the word was, like this, I hate this, dude. Network was breached almost 1 year earlier. That is a fact statement. That's a fact. Fact. It was breached a year earlier. Actual truth. May have been entered a year ago. You see how the title, the thing that most people would read and just move on, is not actually accurate? I hate when reporters do that. Unfortunately, a lot of times the reporter isn't the person who writes this jump out headline. It's the editor. Fun fact, I worked at a newspaper in college. TLDR, if you work in industrial control systems, be mindful of this. You might want to look at Frosty Goop just to see what's up.
A word from our sponsor, Vanta. Whether you're starting or scaling your security program, Vanta helps you automate compliance across frameworks like SOC 2, ISO 27001, and more. With Vanta, you can streamline security reviews by automating questionnaires and demonstrating your security posture with a customer-facing trust center. Over 7,000 global companies like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Quora use Vanta to manage risk and prove security. Our listeners get $1,000 off at vanta.com/headlines. That's VANTA.com/headlines.
All right, y'all. Hey, check it out. Check it out now. It's the mid-roll. Isaiah Morris on LinkedIn with a new GRC job. Day 3, crushing it.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Nice job, Isaiah Morris. Keep crushing it. And thank you, Alpha Sierra, for the heads up. All right, guys, check it out. Thank you all so very much for being here. I hope you're having a good show. I never know if I'm going to get spicy or not. It's just as a surprise to me as it is to you. I guess the coffee is. Like I said, I went to Costco on Sunday or Monday and got the legit coffee. I got the rocket fuel, so I am all gassed up right now. Dude, if you're getting value from the stream, Swims with Sharks, you're a first timer here. If you're getting value from the stream, hit the like button on YouTube. I don't care about the number of likes or clicks or whatever. That's not my jam. What I do care about is more people finding the channel and getting the knowledge and the networking and the community support. And by hitting the like button, it triggers the YouTube algorithm. Don't be shy. Shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, Barricade Cyber, Antisyphon, Delete Me, Tricky Delete Me, getting free ad reads Monday and Tuesday because I'm a donkey. Hey, let me tell you about the Simply Cyber Community Challenge. Michael Hoover has the baton. Every single day, we ask one person to volunteer to share their story on LinkedIn. Don't be shy. Share your story on LinkedIn. Use the hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge. What happens? Everybody in the community searches on that hashtag and finds it and meets you, quote unquote, meets you, gets to know you, connects with you on LinkedIn. So your first level connection, build your network, and bonus, your LinkedIn feed will actually be more cybersecurity focused content because LinkedIn's going to see that your network is all cyber people. So if that's interesting to you, do two things. One, go on LinkedIn and search the hashtag Simply Cyber Community Challenge. We have over 300 baton posts, so it's very easy to find and quickly build your network. Secondly, if you want to volunteer, say, I want the baton. Michael Hoover. Is Michael Hoover in chat? Let me know. Holy crap. There's so much going on here. Is Michael Hoover in chat? I don't see Michael Hoover in chat. Do me a favor. If you want the baton, please volunteer and say you want the baton. Let's give some community shout out right now. Taekwon Gong with a great interview yesterday. Malware Combat got an internship started on Monday.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
I love it. Alpha Male wants the baton. Alpha Male, let's go. Alpha Male, let's go. Alpha Male, just say, I accept the baton, and it's yours. All right, Jamie, attesting. All right. Jamie loves it. All right, Alpha Male, you got the baton. Let's go. Hey, Alpha Male, you'll want to share your actual name so people can find it even easier. Sarah, Danny Bourbon. Sarah, come back tomorrow. Sarah. I mean, you're a recent newcomer, but you've been here consistently. I love it. All right, guys. So we did Worldwide Wednesday at the mid-roll, so we don't have any special we did Worldwide Wednesday at the beginning. Let's get our la-la-la-laws on. All right. Good stuff. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get back into it. Second half of the show. And then we're going to finish strong. Let's go.
Fish-friendly domain registry put on notice. On July 16th, the Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, or ICANN, issued a letter to the .top domain registry giving it until mid-August to establish processes for managing phishing reports and suspending abusive domains. ICANN did not disclose the registry name, but indicated it's operated by a Chinese entity called Jiangsu Bangning Science and Technology Company Limited. A new report indicates that more than 117,000 .top domains were leveraged in phishing campaigns over the last year. If the registry fails to comply with ICANN's directive, it will be forced to forfeit its license to sell domains.
All right. So this is a really interesting infographic here. It does not warrant the saxophone. Sorry, Swims with Sharks first timer. You're not going to hear the saxophone on this story. But basically, you got to remember top level domains. So like the end of website domains, right? .com, .io, .net, .org, .gov, .online, .xxx, .club, .ru, the country ones, .au, right? The TLDs, and they're basically sold, right? So if you go to whatever, Squarespace, and you buy simplycyber.io, which you can't because I own it, but if you buy casuallynosif.com or you're Eric Taylor and you buy threatactoracademy.com, right? You can buy these and a company owns them and manages it. And then ICANN, is kind of like the nonprofit elders of the internet. They're the watcher, if you're familiar with like the Marvel universe. They basically kind of stay on the side, have kind of long, like in my mind, they all have like long gray beards and they stand there and they like ivory tower and just kind of judge. Well, this Chinese company owns the top TLD domain. So like simplycyber.top or, whatever, fubar.top. Apparently, they've done a crap job of reporting. Where is it? Hold on one second. They've done a crap job of reporting and handling phishing domains. Basically, they'll sell a .top domain to anyone and everyone, and if it looks like it's being used for malware, they're fine with it. So ICANN, in all of their authority, are flexing on this private Chinese company and saying, listen, if you don't straighten out, we're going to take the ability for you to sell the top TLD away from you. Now, this should be concerning for the company because
Straight cash, homie.
Right? Here's my thing. One, I'm not going to like throw shade on China, but this company in China, sometimes private companies have government involvement, right? The government will put somebody on the board that works for the government, even though it's a private company. And I'm not speaking like crazy right now. Like we saw it with Alibaba. We saw it with, oh my God, there was like a ride sharing app. Think of like Uber in China. I think it was called like Ditto or Boing Boing or something like that. I think it was the same word twice. That they got hosed by the Chinese government. Let me see. Ride sharing app China. What is this thing called? Didi. 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 So this happens, right? So it's possible that this company, basically didn't want to do this, but is being forced to. Final thing I want to point out. I don't know how you could fall for a .top domain. Bank of America .top. Like, what are we doing here? Who is like, oh, I didn't realize it wasn't really Bank of America. So anyways, I would encourage your end users to be mindful of .top domains, okay? This is a good opportunity to educate your end users around top-level domains. By the way, Carl in accounting, Carl doesn't care about top-level domains, but Carl does know about .com, right? Carl lived through the .com boom, and you #youngs have no idea. The .com boom, it was a wild time in the late 90s, early 2000s. Wild. Also, shout out to Woodstock 25th anniversary. Woodstock up in Rome, New York. I woke up to that this morning or last night, going to bed. Brought back some memories. Catch me on Jawjacking or Tidbits Tuesday. I was at Woodstock 99 and I was a much different human being. Much more irresponsible. All right, guys. .top, you burnt.
Hamster Combat players targeted in malware attacks. Threat actors are targeting those playing the popular Hamster Combat game, which launched back in March and now has over 250 million players. Researchers at ESET have identified numerous lookalike versions of the game surfacing in various channels, including Google Play, Telegram, and GitHub. These fake distributions are installing malware, including various versions of the Luma info stealer for Windows and Raytel spyware for Android. The researchers say those interested in Hamster Combat should obtain it only from the project's official Telegram channel or website.
Okay. What are we doing here? I hate to be an old person, okay? I'm about to get very old very quickly. All right, so let's talk about this story objectively, and then I will take off my fedora, my trench coat, and I will shake a fist at a cloud in a hot minute, okay? I never heard of Hamster Combat, but apparently 250 million people have. It's a very popular mobile game, which means you play it on your iPhone or your Android device. It says they're targeting Windows. Here's the deal. Whether it's Hamster Combat or it is Zoom at the beginning of the pandemic, when there is a popular application, I don't care what it is, just a popular application, threat actors will make lookalike applications. Sometimes they'll straight up rip the application and Trojanize it. So it's still the application works, but it's a Trojan. And then they'll disseminate it through file sharing sites, lookalike websites, especially like you don't see it as much nowadays, but back in the day, there wasn't like a freemium model. Like you would have to buy a game, right? So if you're a kid, like Fortnite wouldn't have been free. You would have had to pay like $60 for Fortnite, right? So as a kid, you're like, oh, I can download a free version of Fortnite off of like megaupload.com. Let's go, right? And in reality, you're just downloading malware, infecting the crap out of yourself, and it's leading to problems, okay? So I would, if you want, if my information security office sent an email out to everybody about be careful about lookalike fake Hamster Combat installs, I probably wouldn't read that email because I'd be like, what the hell? But this is an opportunity to educate your end users about not downloading from random sites and stuff like that. Finally, let me get my also, by the way, you should be running EDR or anti-malware solutions on your endpoints. You should always be running some version of anti-malware. I don't care if you're running iPhone, iOS, like get as much as you can if you can, okay? Here's the part where I want to like shake my head and just weep softly into my hands. I'm going to read this verbatim. Hamster Combat, which has 250 million players, by the way. Jay and Michelle said this thing's all the rage. So I'm sure I'm going to get some hate on social media about that. You got to say Hamster Combat. Is that how they say it in the game, Angular? Hamster Combat is a clicker mobile for Android where players earn fictional currency by completing simple tasks, primarily tapping on the screen. What? So this game, which has 250 million players, like this is the game? This is the game. I'm playing Hamster Combat right now. Woo! Like, look at this. I'm going to double my output on Hamster Combat with 2 fingers. Look, ooh. I'm the keyboardist from Styx. I've got, two iPhones going or 2 Androids, right? I got one over here and one over here. I'm doubling down on Hamster Combat. What are we doing here? When did tapping the screen become like hot? Right? Oh, tapping the screen. Have you played the new Hamster Combat game?
That Hansel's so hot right now.
It's so hot right now. You just tap the screen. What? Oh my God, give me that app stat, please.
Researchers bypass Windows Hello authentication. Microsoft's Windows Hello.
Would you like to not think? Would you love to be entertained without having to think? Does your finger work? Come check out Hamster Combat.
for Business was introduced in Windows 10 as a phishing-resistant authentication model that uses cryptographic keys embedded in a computer's trust platform module and linked to a biometric or PIN-based verification. Late last year, Accenture's Red Team found that WHFB is susceptible to adversary-in-the-middle attacks where an attacker can intercept and alter post requests to Microsoft's authentication services, defaulting to less secure passwords or OTP methods, and break into PCs and laptops. The Accenture team reported the issue to Microsoft, who has issued a fix. The Accenture team will demonstrate the attack at Black Hat USA 2024 in Las Vegas on August 8th.
And don't worry, this research will be presented at Black Hat. Casually Nosif will be in attendance. Yeah, Legrad, hey, if you're a Hamster Combat person, I mean no disrespect. I just don't get it. And like, this is one of those ones. I'm not an ageist. I'm not an ageist. I am inclusive and supportive. It's just, I can't get my head around it. All right. So check it out. Really good research. Anytime authentication gets bypassed, it's not good. Everybody's familiar with Windows Hello. And you can bypass it, essentially doing a downgrade attack. That's the TLDR here, okay? Let's see. Yehuda Smirnov made this discovery last year, reported it to Microsoft, and now the dude's getting a Black Hat talk. Absolutely love it. I would love, dude, to me, this is like the pinnacle of my cybersecurity career, to give a Black Hat talk. That'd be so sick. But so it's an authentication downgrade attack. This is something that you should know. It's a technique. It's been around a very long time. It's just how you do it changes based on the tech stack. A downgrade technique is, remember, basically all right, so let's talk about what a downgrade technique is. A downgrade technique is when a standard interaction between, a user or two computers or something like that, a user and a computer or two computers, they have to agree on a protocol standard, right? So because you don't want it to be brittle, you want it to be robust and resilient, you have several options. Now, obviously, the more secure option is the one that you want to do first. But if the user tries to do something and the receiving computer or the receiving other endpoint or whatever cannot accept that, because maybe it's a legacy system or something like that, it will have the ability to offer like option B, option C, option D, option E. A downgrade attack is forcing that downgrading of the options, going down the stack until you get to like option, double Z, which is like a really crappy option, right? Which normally you wouldn't encounter or see, because usually most systems are able to do option A, but you have to account for these fringe cases. That's what a downgrade attack is. And because those lower options are typically less secure, that's why they're lower options, threat actors can take advantage of that and boogie into your system using those techniques. Now, this guy, obviously, this is a very technical attack, which is awesome. I encourage you check this out. Whoa, hold on one second. Sorry. I encourage you check it out, right? Every business, everybody interviewing you, everybody everywhere knows what Windows Hello is, right? So if you're able to talk intelligently about a Windows Hello authentication bypass, you don't have to demonstrate it, but if you could talk about it, it is interesting. All right, so Eric Taylor's bringing this up. This is a Microsoft article to force only passwordless authentication. Here we go. So if you wanted to basically remove the ability for Carl to use a password, you can use this technique. Here, remove passwords on Windows. Okay. Right here. Okay, cool. Thanks.
KnowBe4 hires fake North Korean IT worker.
Ooh.
On Tuesday, security awareness training firm KnowBe4 said that a North Korean operative posed as a software engineer slipped.
Hold on. Zmem says, what is Windows Hello? When you log into a Windows box nowadays, you can type in a password like you did a million years ago. But now there's other techniques. You can use biometrics. You can click on a picture in certain spaces. Like Windows operating system offers several options for authenticating a user to the box to allow them access to the underlying, well, not the underlying, but access to the operating system. The biometric one is Windows Hello, right? It's pretty secure. That's what it is.
Its hiring background checks. The new hire spent the first 25 minutes on the job using their new Mac to download malware, manipulate session history files, and execute unauthorized software on company systems. KnowBe4 said its security team quickly detected suspicious activities and contained the infected workstation. The worker's identity was revealed as an AI deepfake and is one of hundreds of cases of North Korean nation-state operatives posing as an IT worker to infiltrate U.S. companies.
All right, there we go. KnowBe4. Some of us work at KnowBe4. KnowBe4 is a end user awareness training company, essentially. They're very big. I would argue that they're the biggest player in the space. They certainly had the biggest end user awareness training booth at Black Hat last year. So it's a huge company. All right, let's just check this out really quickly. Nope. Hold on one second. KnowBe4. Oh my God. KnowBe4 employee count. How many employees do we have? KnowBe4 has between 1,000 and 5,000 employees. In 2021, Macro Trends reported they had 1,300 employees. In 2019, they announced they had 647 employees. So KnowBe4 is growing like mold in a swampy area with no air conditioning. So KnowBe4, I would argue KnowBe4 is a mid-sized company, not a large enterprise. I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt that, in large enterprises, these things can happen. Guys, fake North Korean. Okay, so here's the bigger picture. North Korea is on this trend where they are getting their citizens to get employed. Brent B with a joke. Instead of KnowBe4, it's know after. So North Korea has been on this trend of getting people who work in North Korea hired into IT roles in order to do one of two things. Either A, they take their earnings and then they send it back to Mother North Korea, or B, they exploit their insider access to plant malware. Now, this particular instance, I find it almost comical that literally as soon as the guy got his laptop, like the very first thing he did was log in and start loading malware on it. Like, hilarious. Shout out to KnowBe4. Mid-sized companies don't always have the best information security. They caught it almost immediately, which I love, and responded swiftly. Now, they uncovered that it was like AI deepfakes and all this other stuff. Interesting. I would love to know how they, how the guy got through the interviews, right? Like I've heard of multiple times. I've heard of different things, actually, where this is crazy. I think it was a Darknet diary I heard. All right. So I'm sorry to be kind of all over the place, but let me just point this out really quickly. At some point, somebody had to get on the phone with KnowBe4 and go through a job interview, right? Like, we celebrate people getting job interviews on the stream all the time. Someone had to get on the phone. Now, I have heard, let me check my calendar really quickly and make sure, because this is going to blow your mind. Okay, hold on. Oh my God. I just want to make sure I don't have a meeting conflict right now. Nope. All right. I even have time for jaw jacking. I heard that basically I send out a job rec saying, oh, like, I want to hire someone for IT work, right? Then I also apply for a KnowBe4 job. And the KnowBe4 says, yeah, like, we'd love to have you come on in. And I say, okay. Then I contact people who applied to my job and I say, hey, we'd love to have you. Our clients KnowBe4, whatever, like, we want you to interview with them. And like, basically you have a patsy interview with the company. So the patsy thinks they're getting a job interview. The company thinks they're interviewing a candidate. And then in reality, the North Korean person tells the candidate, oh, you didn't get the job. And KnowBe4 hires that person. That's like one technique that I've seen get done. I got to tell you, like, with all due respect, I feel like North Korea is working harder, not smarter. Okay. Again, this isn't threatactoracademy.com, but what I would say is if I was a threat actor, if I was a criminal or a nation state, I would just purchase credentials, right? There's an entire like an access broker ecosystem in the dark web, right? Like you can buy creds to a lot of Fortune 500 companies. Why would I go through all the effort to like go through job interview, get mailed a laptop, try to install some, like just buy some creds and pop it, move on, right? Like I feel like North Korea is like working too hard for this. And then they didn't even get to reap any benefits because they immediately got identified and screwed, right? So way to go, KnowBe4, right? Good information security practices. This is an opportunity to make, I would send this to HR and just say, hey, HR, basically just be mindful that North Korea is successfully getting hired into companies using AI and stuff. Interesting story, interesting opportunity. All right, let's go.
And that does it for today's cybersecurity headlines. But the CISOs.
And that does it for today. Too bad we didn't hear the saxophone. Sorry, Swims with Sharks. You'll have to come back another day for the saxophone. It's a very special sound effect that only gets used for very special reasons. All right, let's do let's do this really quickly. All right, guys, I hope you had a great stream. I certainly did. Reminder, this Thursday, this guy, Henry Danielson, my man, Aerospace Village volunteer. This guy's energy is next level. It's super, super awesome. DEF CON 32, if you're going to be there. Casually Nosif will be there. Come join us tomorrow night, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, just like every Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, where we do long-form Joe Rogan-style interviews with industry professionals. It's all about good times up in there. Listen, guys, if you got a boogie out of here, I hear you. I feel you. It's been episode 671 of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief, July 24th, 2024. Go check out Alpha Male's post. Sarah, you got the baton tomorrow. Swims with Sharks is going to come back from the saxophone. Love it. All right, guys, my friends, I'll see you later. If you want, stick around because we got 30 minutes of hot AMA cybersecurity answers. All your questions will be answered. I promise you. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Until next time, stay secure. Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Jawjacking, the Cybersecurity AMA live stream. My name is Jerry Guy, coming hot off the heels of that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger. Oh my God, what a toolbox that guy is. Seriously, with the news and the spicy takes and the stories, my God. All about good times, guys. We kick it every single day after the stream for 30 minutes, community-based. I've got 20 years of industry experience. A lot of people in chat have a ton of experience. I'm particularly, I have a particular penchant for GRC, but I do know about other things. And if I don't, I know people that know other things. Let's get your questions answered. So Angular, we could still call him Kashmir, right? It's like, who are some of the people that have like multiple names, right? Like Shaq, right? Isn't he like Superman and Aristotle's baby or something like that? All right. Got my chapstick ready to go. Let's go. How's everybody doing? Mega Brood with the first question. Do you have any good advice for getting started with threat hunting in your environment? Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, obviously, Mega Brood. Hold on, let me can I bring this up on chat? Let me get rid of this scrolling ticker thing here. And then, oh my God, hold on. All right. So if you're going to do threat hunting in your environment, the first thing you got to have is good, like, logs, right? You can't see anything. Threat hunting isn't taking a flashlight and going around and looking behind computers. I say that, but then immediately I'm like, well, you could have hardware key loggers like USB sticks, but most times when we're talking threat hunting, that's not what we're thinking about. What I would say is, honestly, Mega Brood, if it were me, what I would do is I would go on to MITRE ATT&CK and look at some popular IOCs that are relevant to our industry, right? So like, say you work in like financial, right? And like Fin7, which targets financials, right? Maybe go look at their IOCs and look around in your environment for those type of behaviors. Remember, threat hunting is looking for bad in your environment that your security tools did not detect manually. Also, jump onto some more sensitive systems like, file servers or domain admin machines, and look to see at their process trees, right? Like, is there weird stuff running? Look in your environment and see if PowerShell is running. Look in your environment and see if you're going out to weird IP addresses. Look in your environment, Mega Brood. Another great, like, fun thing to look for right away, if it were me, right? A fun thing to look at is look for beaconing. Beaconing, humans are erratic and their network traffic is all over the place, so it looks very human. C2 frameworks that are set up will be beaconing with consistent timing, right? So every 15 minutes, it'll reach out to an IP address. Look for those non-human behaviors beaconing. They'll stand out very well on a network telemetry diagram. So those are some options. Anybody else in chat has some thoughts around threat hunting? Love to hear them in chat. Let's see. Sarah, for the first story of the day, is correct to consider Whiz in the category of MSSP. It's interesting. I saw some mod chat people saying that Whiz was an MSSP. Let me see. I'm not entirely sure with their yeah. So they are a managed services security provider. See, here's the thing. I don't know if they're technically an MSSP. Honestly, I don't think they are, but maybe I'm wrong. I know that, see, they have all these products. I know Stacy Loki went over to work over there, and she's a practitioner, so maybe they have it. Let me know in chat. When I think, oh, wait, you guys can't even see what I'm looking at. I'm sorry. When I think of Whiz, right? When I think of Whiz, I think of this right here. See how it says product? And then they have a ton of products. This is what I think of when I think of Whiz. This is not MSSP. This is product. So I think they enable MSSPs to do work. Let me know in chat. I haven't used Whiz personally, but I don't. Based on what I'm looking at, they don't look like an MSSP. They look like a security technology solution provider. All right. Questions are coming in hot and heavy now. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, yeah, the big Aristotle. Thank you, Clifton Reed. Am I going to be at Black Hat DEF CON next month? Yes, Heather Fortune. 100%. I will be at Black Hat DEF CON. And for those who missed it yesterday or the day before, wherever it was, I'm going to be having a cardboard cutout. Casually Joseph is in chat. He's a mod in the chat. He's a regular member of the Simply Cyber community. He cannot go to Black Hat DEF CON, but I love myself some Casually Joseph, aka Cashmere. So we're going to be taking a picture of him and a cardboard cutout. And when we take photos at Black Hat DEF CON, we will be using that picture we'll be using his head in the picture and hashtag Casually Nosif in chat. So if you see me at Black Hat DEF CON, definitely grab a picture with me so we can do that. Plus, A couple things. Heather Fortune asks, let me tell you two things really quickly that are definitely worth noting. And mods, can you drop a link to the registration page for the Simply Cyber community meetup? If you guys didn't know, I put this on social media yesterday, but there's an event. It's free to go to. If you guys don't remember, I did here. God, there's so much to share. If you guys didn't know, many of you know this, but it's been a while since I talked about it. I made a threat exposure management course for XM Cyber. I made all the curriculum. I did all the videos. I did everything. Okay. This course is absolutely free. So if you want to take a course on vulnerability management next level, from me, you can see there I am, right? I did this with XM Cyber. Now, XM Cyber reached out to me the other day and was like, hey, we're throwing a party at Black Hat. It's free. It's Wednesday. You want to tell people about it? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like, let's do it. So I put it in the newsletter the other day. XM Cyber like paid to go into the newsletter, but they're not paying me to do this. Like I'm doing this just because I think it's cool and I wanted people to know about it. This is a free party at Black Hat, August 7th at 6 p.m. Free booze, free food. There's a lockpick village going to be there, and there's also going to be souvenirs or something like that when you show up. I don't know what that's going to be about, but it starts at 6. I would encourage you to get there at like 5:45. Usually these free parties, there's a line out the door. People are standing in it. They don't even know what's going on. You do have to RSVP to it. I will be at this party, okay? I have a Dakota State University alumni meetup later on in the evening, so I'm not staying for the full 6 to 9 p.m., but I will be there. I will definitely be there at 5:45 and be there at least, for an hour or so. If you do go to this event, I'm going to have a pocket full of these Simply Cyber stickers. So if you want one of these, find me. High five me and you'll get one. Also, I saw Michelle Kahn will be there. I love Michelle Kahn. All right, here's another thing to let everybody know. This is the Simply Cyber community meetup. So all of you Simply Cyber members who are still here right now, we're doing a meetup at Friday, August 9th at 3 p.m. You can see it says free, right? I wasn't even going to do a registration page, but the mod team thought this would be an opportunity so it can get on people's calendars and you can be reminded that there's an event. I'm literally not going to take the emails from this registration page and email people. Like this is completely a convenience so you can have a calendar invite. This is going to be at the Golden Tiki right here. CJ from the community selected this location. I did notice that they don't have beer on draft at this location, which is but he picked it. Says it's a great location. Christina Paulika, aka the librarian, seconded the location. I know that Tyler Ramsby is going to be there. So if you're going to go to one event, come to this one. This one's going to be the shizzle. Okay, we'll take a picture, team photo with the Simply Cyber flag. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Let me drop a link to this in chat. SC Meetup. Okay, let us know. And actually, here, I'm kind of curious. Going to SC Meetup at DEF CON Friday. Just a quick little poll, yes or no, if you're going. Larry Shervington with a super chat.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
Thanks for the super chat, Larry. Thanks to Dr. Auger and Team SC. My LinkedIn went nuclear after the community challenge, and I just spoke with Michael Hoover, who had the baton. They served in the Air Force together in Jersey as jet mechanics. No she's. Dude, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Way to go, Larry. Way to go, Michael Hoover. Dude, I love the Simply Cyber community. Larry, thanks for the super chat, and also thanks for sharing that story. This is the power of the Simply Cyber community challenge, guys. It's all about good times. All right, let me answer a bunch of questions because you guys are coming in hot and heavy today. I want to get into it. Here we go. Speed round. Kevin Dawson's transitioning from sales to IR. Should I remove all sales experience from resumes to beat application tracking systems or keep management experience on resume? So Kevin, if it were me, I like, first of all, on a resume, I like complete pages. So like if your resume has like half a page of white space, in my opinion, that's bad. Visually, it doesn't communicate well. You want to fill the space. So as you get more IR SOC experience, I would start removing stuff that isn't necessarily tied to that. Now, I would say in an IR and SOC, you could do management stuff, manage team members, right? So I would leave management experience. In sales, sometimes you're having interesting conversations. Sometimes you got to, shape a narrative a certain way. So I would focus on that. There are reasons to leave that experience on your resume. I would strongly encourage, Kevin, that you take your resume, copy and paste it, just not your sensitive information, but like your bullets, put that in ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, I'm applying to an incident response SOC analyst role. Can you rephrase my experience to be better suited for these type of jobs, and see what it does? It'll be quite surprising how good it is. Dennis Keefe says, Jerry, I like your video on setting up ElasticSim. Can you do one on Graylog? I'm having trouble setting it up. I can certainly look into it, Dennis Keefe. The nice thing is the Elastic one had a lab manual all set up already. Like, I'm not going to create a whole new lab manual and then film a video, but if I can find a lab manual on Graylog, I will certainly do that. I'm actually, for those who don't know, I'm stockpiling videos. The week after Black Hat, Simply Cyber's channel is going to be going off. There's going to be like new video, like long form videos every single day, just about for like a week or two. I filmed a GRC video. I wrote a custom Python tool the other night and made a video about it on how to use it and where it is and everything like that. So, and then I'm doing a Sec Plus thing. So people ask for lab videos at the Simply Cyber, State of Simply Cyber. So Dennis Keefe, this aligns perfectly. Space Tacos. A person called Saw MJ wants to know if auditing is something they can do freelance. They have 2 years experience as a SOC analyst, and I may have converted them to GRC. All right, let's go. All right, so can you do freelance auditing? Sure. I mean, just stand up an LLC, call yourself a business, and offer auditing skills if you want. It's no big deal. I mean, that's what small business information security is, right? You can offer, I mean, what are you going to audit though? I mean, are you like, typically people only want an audit for a reason, right? Like they're trying to like get into government contracting and they need CMMC audit. They're trying to take credit cards and they need PCI auditing, which by the way, you can't PCI audit unless you're a QSA. You're trying to, you're federal government, you want to do FISMA, right? So, like you have to be FISMA audited, right? So it depends what auditing you're going to do, but sure, there's no reason you can't do that. You may have a tough time, Saw MJ, getting client work. Small business is a tough gig. I used to do a lot of small business consulting. It's a lot of grinding. I still do it. In fact, I actually owe a quote to a company out of California. It's on my to-do list. I wrote this on a napkin, which is like the worst. But after I get off the stream, I've got a to-do list. I do like to-do lists. I like to-done lists. You picking up what I'm putting down?
That Hansel's so hot
All right.
now.
Good morning. Jonathan Baker's got a SOC interview in 2 hours. Feeling good rewatching your interview videos. Hell yeah. Go crush it, Jonathan Baker. Jeff S., what's a good way to figure out which direction to go in cyber beyond the traditional SOC analyst, pen tester, or GRC role? I mean, Jeff S., those are three, great roles, pretty standard. I mean, once you get into those roles, you get specialized, right? So SOC analyst is SOC analyst, but maybe you get into digital forensics. Maybe you get into incident response. Maybe you get into threat hunting. Maybe you get into CTI. Same for pen testing. Yeah, you could be a pen tester, but maybe you specialize in network security. Maybe you specialize in wireless, social engineering, physical pen testing. On the GRC side, maybe you get into information awareness training. Maybe you get into risk. Maybe you get focused on specific industry verticals, right? So a good way to figure out your direction, I mean, follow your passion, Jeff S. That's what I would say. Zach Morrison, can you still get a job at help desk service desk without the A+ cert? I think so. I mean, Zach Morrison, I think at that point it becomes more about networking. If it were me, I would target larger businesses because they have more people on help desk. They probably have standard protocols and wikis and, process documents to train people up, so they don't really care. The A+ is just going to help you stand out against other candidates. But what I would recommend is networking. Good Joe says, Gerald, do you have any advice for someone going IT? What? Gerald, do you have any advice for some going for a medical company? Good Joe, I don't understand your question. But what I don't understand your question, but I guess what I would say is if you're going to look for, if you're interviewing at a healthcare company, is Jesse in chat? Jesse Johnson. If you're going to interview for a healthcare company, what I would say is be familiar with HIPAA in the United States, but don't make that the only thing you focus on. HIPAA is probably like the 8th most important thing to an information security person in healthcare. Be mindful of legacy technology. It depends what kind of role you're going to as well. Medical company, like, is it a healthcare provider? Is it a medical device company? Are you doing GRC work? Are you doing SOC work? Are you doing application security work? Good, Joe, your question is so vague. Unfortunately, it's challenging me to give you a targeted answer. Please qualify that question. Cybercycle, Jerry, everyone feels the pain from the hiring situation, considering what's happened recently, and in my opinion, will be exposing other weaknesses. When do you see hiring attitudes exchanging and adding staff? Cybercycle, it honestly, I think that it has to do with the economy and straight cash, homie, right?
Straight cash, homie.
And market levers, right? So when CMMC comes on the scene, in my opinion, there's going to be an A-load of GRC hiring going on. Yeah, GRC, feel me. Because CMMC is going to be hot and people are going to need to be audited for CMMC. So that's the deal. All right, so we got 91 votes. It looks like 9% of people are going to the SC meetup. Thank you for voting on this, which would essentially be 9 people. So, that's manageable. I don't know how big we're going to take over Simply Cyber, the Golden Tiki, but it is all about good times. All right. Let's see. Rich464 says, I'm still taking the first steps on my cyber IT journey. I just accepted a help desk position.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Nice, Rich464. So, Rich464 says, any tips on starting out and moving up? Yeah, so Rich464, what I would recommend is be proactive, take initiative, say yes. I feel like hold on one second. Like literally, Rich464. I have a video for that. Give me a second, Rich464. You're going to love this. Okay, so check it out. This is for everybody, by the way, but I'm looking at the Rich464 right now. So this is a link I just dropped in chat, Rich464, for shorts. Now listen, I've been releasing, I wrote 12 shorts that are all tied together. Now, Jesse Johnson's been helping me with posting shorts content from my old catalog. So they're not exactly in order. You can see here, this is Erica McDuffie, who's an absolute legend in the GRC space. This is a video about GRC analyst and how much I love it. But these videos right here, the ones with my big fat face, right? You see how there's like a consistent look to these ones? Those are the ones I want you to look at, Rich464. I did 12 tips, 1 through 12. You can see here they all are. Literally, the reason I'm sharing this is because these 12 videos are 60 seconds or less, and the entire overarching theme of the 12 videos is how to crush your job in a corporate environment. These 12 tips, Rich464, will answer your question to a T, okay? Not only how to crush your current job, but how to scale and level up at the job. Tip number 1, be reliable and trustworthy, right? If people tell you stuff, if you see things and you're not saying anything like to other people, you're not walking around spreading gossip, spilling tea, more opportunities are going to come to you because people know that you're reliable and trustworthy. Tip number 2, just to give you another one, when you have a problem, bring 2 solutions, right? Listen, Rich464, if you're coming to your boss and you're like, oh, I got this problem, solve it for me. You're actually bringing burden to your boss. If you bring a problem and 2 solutions, preferably one that you like, then your boss, what you're asking your boss to do is make a choice between the 2 options. Now you've made it not a burden. You've made it something actionable that your boss can solve right then. Your boss is going to feel great because they're going to be like, I'm such a good boss. I'm solving problems. You're going to feel great because you have an actionable, approved solution to your problem, and everybody wins. Now, if you're just like bringing problems to your boss, you're like, oh my God, here comes this person. Please check out those 12 tips, Rich464. And if you don't, and honestly, Rich, if you think that those 12 tips suck, let me know also, because the reason I made them was literally to answer questions like this. Final thing, Rich464. I would recommend, if you want to work in cybersecurity, become besties with the cybersecurity professionals at this medical company or regional hospital, excuse me. Regional hospitals are notoriously underfunded and strapped for cybersecurity resources. So if you volunteer and make friends with them and tell them that you'll help them, they will love that. They will absolutely accept your help. And then when it comes time to hire someone, you will be the first person they think of. Think of it as networking on steroids, because you're actually inside. You're going to be able to help them. They're going to be able to see that you're doing great work, and they will hire you onto the information security team. I guarantee you. Okay? I don't usually make guarantees like that, but I'm telling you, when they have a job opening, they could either open a rec, interview a bunch of people, spend a bunch of time, and then have to negotiate salaries and crap. Or they could be like, Rich464, he's always up in our business. He's explained that he wants to work in cyber. Why don't we bring him on? Done. Stefan W. Gonna help me out with the gray log. Let's go, Stefan.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Stefan Waldvogel is so hot right now. Making a note on my to-do list. Stefan. Also a deep cut. If you didn't know, if you like the Simply Cyber Discord server, do throw some love to Stefan Waldvogel. He created the Discord server and basically handed it to me. He was like, Jerry, you need a Discord server. I'm like, I don't know, Stefan. That sounds like a lot of work. And then he just created it and gave it to me. And I can't imagine not having the Discord server now. Let's see. Someone asked, I'm going to DEF CON for the first time. Any advice on how to stay secure and what to expect? Yeah, no problem. So first of all, whoever asked that question, Casually Nosif, first time modding apparently, doesn't know how to take a screenshot. That's no problem. So use the hashtag conferences, whoever asked that question. There's a YouTube video that we have that answers that. Here it is. Look. On stream. This right here, this is how to go to a cyber conference like a boss. Okay? I'll drop, the link is in chat. Base case, Deb the Deb, BSEC. Guys, lots of great tips here. All right, now let me answer your question specifically. Anonymous person who Casually Joseph pulled the question. To stay safe at DEF CON, like people talk about burner laptops, burner phones, and stuff like that. You can do that. I would just say casually Joseph did not like my joke. All right, so here's what I would say. Don't leave your stuff laying around. People are, want to play jokes and stuff like that. Personally, I don't take a burner phone. I think it's fine. You will notice, I will tell you this right now, you will notice performance issues with your phones, both cellular and wireless, okay? There are people walking around at DEF CON with rogue antennas, okay? Including cellular antennas, including the FBI, right? So there is law enforcement there as well as aspiring researchers who are just doing it. Remember, your cell phone will connect to the strongest antenna it sees. You cannot choose what antenna your cell phone connects to. This is just the way cellular networks work. That way, when you're doing 100 miles an hour down the highway, you can hand off to different cell towers and never lose that phone call, right? Well, they're called Stingrays. And if you're connecting to a cell tower that's in someone's backpack, it's not going to have the same throughput, the same performance as a legit cell tower. And you're connecting through an adversary in the middle. So just be mindful of that. Personally, I would use VPNs. I wouldn't share. I'm not doing sensitive information at DEF CON. That's an absolute don't do that. Okay. Same with wireless. DEF CON will have a wireless network that's approved that you can use. There will be all sorts of fake fake access points, fake SSIDs that are stood up that are tricking you to log in. People are into that. So just be mindful of that. You can bring a burner phone. It costs very little for, not little, but I mean, it's very affordable to get a track phone and have a burner phone for the conference, right? $10, $15. All right. Triple D's leaving. Good night, Philippines. Danny Bourbon think he might go GRC. Come on in, Danny. The water's comfortably warm. All right. Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm such a conformist. Like, I'm not committing crimes at Black Hat DEF CON. In fact, I mean, for what it's worth, I'm only going to DEF CON. I'm only going to DEF CON for a few hours. All right, guys. So just so everyone knows, I show up on Monday at Black Hat, and then I leave Friday at 11:50 p.m. So I go to DEF CON Friday morning. DEF CON starts on Thursday, technically. I go on Friday morning, get my badge. I hang out for a few hours. And then at 3:00, I go to the Simply Cyber meetup, which is at off-site, right? It was at a brewery last year. It's at the Golden Tiki this year. I hang out at that party. I go get dinner, and then I go to the airport. I give my badge. Like, I gave it to, I think I gave it to Carlos last year or CJ. I can't remember. I take my DEF CON badge and I give it to somebody at the Simply Cyber community meetup who doesn't have a badge. Typically, they live in Vegas. And I give my badge away, right? Oh, this is cool. So this is really cool. Thanks for sharing this. Kimberly can fix it. This guy right here is Tiberius. Tiberius is a really, really great information security professional. He makes a lot of great content. He's actually been on the show before, Simply Cyber Firesides. I subscribe to his channel. I would encourage you, whoever asked the question about going to DEF CON, definitely check out this video. Definitely check out this video. Thank you, Tiberius. This is one of those ones, guys, where, dude, just people in the industry are so great. Like, we live in, you guys have, like, I hate to sound like an old man, but you guys have no idea. Like, it used to be so toxic and so exclusive and so FU in cybersecurity. It used to be really gross. and now people are so kind and so inclusive, and the content creator community for cybersecurity is so nice. And Tiberius is another one who's just a really good person. The fact that his channel only has 15,000 subscribers is, it's a shame. This guy's awesome. So please check him out. I would even encourage you to subscribe to his channel because he's that good. I might even, thank you, Kimberly, for sharing that. I plan on dropping this. I plan on dropping this in LinkedIn later today. Yeah, hey, and it's the summer. Things are slow. I just got back from Massachusetts. School year hasn't really started yet. I am teaching at the Citadel summer course right now, but it's not impacting. The jaw jacking, I can promise 30 minutes, but we've typically been going an hour because why not kick it, right? Also, can I tell you guys really quickly, since I don't see any more questions yet, and I'm happy to answer all your questions. Oh, hold on. Ulamike Bowler Inwa says, do you have any videos on performing a SOC, ISO, or PCI security audit? No, I don't. So I don't actually have ISO 27000 experience. And PCI, I've told this to people before, PCI, I've always been able to avoid. There's usually, like, you can be the one person, but like usually there's one person at a company that is the PCI person. And anytime anything PCI comes in, which is payment card industry, it's credit card stuff. Anytime it comes in, you just send it over to the PCI person. So I'm telling you, you want to talk about job security? Go become smart on PCI and become the PCI person. I want to share some fun stuff with you guys. Kimberly can fix it. Heading out. Tell Louie hello, Kimberly. I love Kimberly's dogs, Louie. And my own dogs. My dog's got haircuts. Let me share something crazy cool with you guys if you want. So I'm going to Black Hat DEF CON, obviously. And I'm doing a bunch of filming, right? So I always bring the mobile studio and it's good times, but I'm doing more stuff. I'm getting chaotic. I'm, like I told you, Casually Nosif's going to be with me. So in order to send my equipment forward, I had to buy like Pelican cases. I think this is cool. I wanted to share it with you. Look at the size of this suitcase. This thing is gigantic. Can you see how big this friggin' thing is? I got two of them. Oh my God. It's cool. So my suitcases will be the bright orange ones. I wanted to make sure that they stood out. Let's see here. We got questions coming in. And the old, okay. Danny Bourbon says Black Hat's the best cybersecurity movie. It's funny you say that, Danny Bourbon. I've tried watching Black Hat a couple times. That's a Chris Helmsworth movie, I think, right? I always fall asleep to it. I've tried like 3 times. Augusta Delgado, do you have any tools? Do you have any tools videos on how to do a third-party risk assessment of a vendor? I do not, but I can certainly look into that. I mean, it wouldn't. There's really no tool for it, right? I mean, it's just you're basically sending them a questionnaire, right? I mean, you're basically sending them a questionnaire. They fill it out, and then you do a risk assessment on their responses. Wow. Going back to the Hamster Combat story, Pamela, interesting, letting me know that Hamster Combat has 34 million subscribers on YouTube. That's insane. Lots of crypto and political stuff, and there's a Hamster Academy. Wow. Hopefully I didn't upset the Hamster Combat community. They sound like they could go crazy. All right, so a lot of people are throwing a lot of love here on my case. Danny Bourbon says, drink a Celsius, man. It's a cybersecurity movie, but it's also a Michael Mann movie. If you like Heat, you'll love Black Hat. I do like Heat. I think Heat was a little too long, but I love Heat. Obviously, the gun scene in Heat is sick, the robbery scene. But even the, like Robert De Niro's character in Heat is so well written. Joel Harrison, my pleasure if you're talking to me. Jesse Johnson's in the house. Good morning, Jesse. I will tell you, how old am I? No one asked me how old I am, but I'm old enough that like Monster Energy drinks and those kind of drinks, like I was like fully baked by the time those energy drinks came out. A little bit of Red Bull in my youth, but for the most part, I was fully baked by the time that the Celsius and Monsters and stuff came out. Yeah, insane. Dude, Hamster Combat has 34 million subscribers and only 165 videos. Simply Cyber has over 1,000 videos and we have 160,000 subs, which is awesome. But 34 million, that's crazy. Casually Nosif saying I'm old. That's how old I am. Oh, you youngs. Jolt Cola, George Strasburger, my man. Dude, getting Jolt was like getting like illegal narcotics. Like you'd have to like hide it from your parents or like, dude, I would drink Jolt at like school field days. DJ BSEC always has an invitation for coming on the stream. I miss DJ BSEC. I'm sure you guys do too. I will tell you, I've sent a request out on Friday, August 23rd. I actually have a very distinguished opportunity to keynote the South Carolina Critical Infrastructure Conference. I don't know if I'm going to be introduced by the governor of South Carolina, but he will be speaking right before me, which is super cool. But I speak at 9 a.m., which, in case you're doing the math, will prevent me from being able to do the stream that day. So I've asked the stable of guest hosts if someone's available to do the stream. So you can expect a guest host on Friday, August 23rd. I did not wrap up the Jolt Cola. Jolt kind of had like an interesting bottle shape. It looked like the Michelob stubby bottles, except larger. I did not know about Jolt gum. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, just kind of like tugging on nostalgia. Mountain Dew used to have a flavor called Code Red, which was like super into like the IT programmer kind of online alt community. Phil Stafford talking about old enough to have been there when Caesar Cypher came out. Oof. All right. I'm loving it, guys. We are at 9:47. How's everyone doing? All right. Oh, you can get Jolt at 7-Eleven? Stop. Really? Dang. I might do that. Or are you talking about Code Red? Let me know. Let me know if you guys got any questions. I'm here to help you guys. I mean, I love hanging out with the Simply Cyber community, obviously, but I do want to answer questions if I can help anyone. All right. Glam for breakfast. Good morning, all. I have a question. Currently pivoting into IT as a newbie. Wanted to know what kind of projects, labs I would look good on from an IT cyber blog. Draw the interest of employers. So Glam for breakfast, it really depends on what you want to do. Like I have a video on my channel for your GRC portfolio. If you wanted to do that. If you want to do more pen testing stuff, I'd recommend, well, it depends what kind of pen testing you want, but you could do Portswigger Academy and then make blog posts and videos about the things you're learning. Whatever you're doing from a blog perspective, Glam for breakfast, what I would say is don't focus so much on, I completed this Try Hack Me room. Focus more on, I learned privilege escalation on Linux systems using this technique. Like, focus more on the impact of what you're learning and less about like where you're learning or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's a mistake a lot of people make. Like, not everybody's going to know what try hack me is, right? Not everyone, even if they do know, they're not going to know like the super hard. Like, if you completed an easy room or a super hard room, you know, to you, it's like, oh man, I did the hardest room, like first blood, like awesome. But for someone who's just casually looking at your blog, they're not going to know that it's super hard versus super easy. So focus on the impact statements. Chris Young, you are welcome. Dude, I serve. Guys, you got to remember, I built the Simply Cyber community to serve, right? And, you know, I'm very, very grateful for the opportunity. Like, 218 people in chat right now, guys. You could have left, right? I could be standing here by myself and then I'm not, you know, helping. So Chris Young says, SimLab certifies a job for experience with intrusion detection systems. No, I mean, kind of, not really. I mean, you're like, if you're using a sim to find bad, like you're the human intrusion detection system. I guess you technically could say it. I mean, IDS systems are their own appliance, but if you are doing detection engineering and tuning a sim to discover bad, that is intrusion detection. So I would argue, so the SimLab, here's the thing. The SimLab on the Simply Cyber channel by itself is not enough to really add a resume bullet. However, the SimLab does give you the infrastructure and the momentum to be able to level it up further and get more information and do detection engineering and stuff like that. The Eric Capuano, So You Want to Be a SOC Analyst Lab, does have the ability to scale outward. It's just incumbent upon you to go find those IOCs or those behaviors and program them in the detections. And then, yes, you absolutely can put that experience on your resume. Joel Harrison, I appreciate you. Chris Young, my pleasure. Yeah, thanks, Phil Stafford. I don't know. I feel a connection with the Simply Cyber community. I know if you're just standing here on the outside looking in, it looks like I'm just standing here yelling by myself. I'm in a building in the backyard of my house. I live in a neighborhood, so I'm sure my neighbors think I come out here every day and just yell by myself in the room. You know. Let's see. The New Frontier. Christina Paulika's in the house. Good morning, Christina. Simply Cyber's own. She'll be at the Simply Cyber community meetup. Or I would assume she's going to be there. Taekwon Gong wants to know when I'm getting to Kansas City and trying that barbecue. That would be fun. That would be fun. I'm low-key wanting to get an RV and like drive around with my family and do the show from the roof of the RV. Sarah says, nice setup, Jerry. I like the LED lights. Do you have a soundproof the room? No, the room's not soundproof. I have a video. I have a short on the channel, Sarah, if you're interested. There's Tiberius. Let me see. I have a short on the channel. Let me see. Hold on one second. This is for Sarah and for everybody else who would care. Here's a short on the channel that actually is like a behind the scenes. I can't, for some reason, I can't. Here. So this is me getting ready. Here, I'll just show it. This is me getting ready for the daily cyber threat brief every morning. Got all the apps lined up. You can see my studio a little bit. You can see the teleprompter. And there's me. Stories. All right. So I dropped a link to this short in chat. You can check it out if you want. A little BTS. My studio's an absolute train wreck right now because I'm trying to get ready for Black Hat. The thing with these Pelican cases is you got to figure out what you're going to carry, and then you got to cut the foam and everything. So I want to like get it right the first time. That's so funny. Looking at chat here, Jerry on location from the Buffer Auger RV. Yeah, you know what? The RV thing, it's the real challenge is like I'm loud and it's early. So like my family would be I can't like go like I'll be doing the show live. Like the family, Mrs. Auger, the boys, the dogs, like they'll all be like essentially in the studio with me screaming. So I'm not sure. To me, that's like the long pole in the tent on what needs to be solved. Chris Young says I'm a new. Oh wait, hold on. That's not a question. Yeah, Phil Stafford. It's crazy how digitally interconnected we all are. You could do a storm chaser, but for cyber incidents, that would be funny. Ben Middleton, like drive down to Florida to talk to like standing in KnowBe4's parking lot. Hi, it's Jerry from like Simply Cyber here at KnowBe4. Let's see if we can interview somebody in the parking lot. Hey, so you people who are newer, you may not know this. Every once in a while, we do something outrageous on the streams. For those who don't know, a while ago, like last year, there was an issue with the stories, and I had to like pick the stories myself. And I ended up doing like 2 different identities on the streams. And one of them was like a Harry Carey reporter where I was like, hi. And I was like completely out of my mind. That was a really, really silly episode. So I could see that happening too. So Chris Young says, when is the IR 8286 walkthrough coming out? IR 8286. What is IR 8286? Oh, is this a NIST document? Look at this. Integrating cyber risk and enterprise risk management. Okay. I see you, Chris Young. Here, I'll put it on the list. Does anybody want this besides Chris? Does anybody here? Let me see this. No offense, Chris, but this would be like a lot of work, so I want to make sure. All right, there we go. Got a poll in there. Let me know if you want that video. Chris Young, you were having someone. Oh. So, listen. Okay, so what Chris Young's talking about. So listen, some of you may not know this. I have a academy, right? So if you go to academy.simplycyber.io, it's a school. I have GRC courses in there. And one of the courses I'm going to make is how to execute an enterprise risk assessment. It's a big piece of work. It's designed for more mid to senior level practitioners. And there's an entire process around it, okay? I asked the Simply Cyber community what course they wanted next because I don't scale very well, right? I said, do you want a vulnerability management analyst class, an enterprise risk assessment class, and 2 other classes? And the community voted for vulnerability management analyst class. So that's the one I'm working on. The one that Chris is talking about where I have someone follow me, like almost like The Office, where like you're in the interviews with me and I'm explaining my workflows and everything. That is the enterprise risk assessment class. That is something I want to do. And actually, Rhonda Rummerfield in the Simply Cyber community is going to follow me and also be the avatar for the student, right? So she'll ask questions, I'll answer them. That is going to happen. It's just, I only have so much time, so I can't do all the things all at once. I will tell you, now that I've locked down sponsors for all of 2024, and then hopefully Barricade Cyber and Antisyphon want to renew for 2025. I'll have all the sponsors locked in and locked down, and I won't have to worry about that. So I'll have a little bit more free time and funding, frankly. Light Delight has a question, and then I got to get going. It's 10 o'clock. Please advice on materials or videos to learn more on how to detect and monitor project in Google Compute that don't have OWASP WAF rule implemented. Wow, that is a very specific question. I am not familiar with Google Compute at all. Light Delight. So I'm very, unfortunately, I'm not very well equipped to answer that question. What I would say is, and this is such a Bush League answer, for any infrastructure that you have in Google Compute, if you can put, EDR stuff on it, I would also say get good audit logs coming from the infrastructure in Google Compute, right? All that telemetry, have it feed into some type of correlation engine or SIM of some sort and look for bad that way. Also, I would recommend, if you can, IP, not IP addressing, but if you, I don't know what you're doing in Google Compute, but if your product is not designed, if you're not expecting users from Cambodia or Vietnam, you can geofence so you're not getting that type of traffic, right? Basically defense in depth. So let me know. All right. We got 72 votes. A lot of people want a video on NIST IR 8286. All right. It's on the list. You 60 people have to watch that video though. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so very much. It was a great jaw-jacking. That hour went wicked fast, no doubt. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Thank you all for being here today. Until next time, be well, be good, and stay secure. Bye.